just your friend, your boy, Jep Lakeland, only here with.
Oh, it's Dozer here.
And today, Dozer will be making a Jank Heroes Funnifyic character. So right now we're getting the video up for him. You're probably going to want a writing surface as well. Dun 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 dun. Did you finish Wind Waker?
No.
Neither have I. Dun 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 dun. You're gonna use your encyclopedia? It works because the cover over it is meaningless, and that's all that would imprint on it. The only thing that you'll need other than the YouTube video will be like a dice roller. But your phone can do that. Or you just have dice. I feel like the former is true.
Yeah, I've got that.
Yep, he's just got dice. You will only need a D20, which is in the bag. Ooh, I'll try and get the video up for you. Okay, let's see. So, I guess I'll just say Jank Heroes. And it should come up.
I'm waiting it myself.
Solid wave. Hey, look at the first result. Okay. Oh, how to create one. Here we go. You excited, Dozer?
And in this video, I'm going to tell you how to create your own character for Jank Heroes Funnifyic. First, you're going to come up with a character name, or civilian name. So this is your character's civilian identity as you explore the city of Springdale. Then your character's going to have a superhero name. This is your character's superhero identity. People in the game won't recognize you as your superhero identity unless they witness you using your powers or wearing your superhero suit.
Okay, so right now you're coming up with your civilian name and then your superhero name. It's actually very interesting that you have multiple index cards. Do 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 do. Okay, and then you're gonna need a superhero name. Do 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 do. Da 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 da. Also, share with the stream what your civilian name is.
It's backwards. Javier Rodriguez. He's not Hispanic. Shut up.
He's not?
He
Okay. He is? Oh, okay.
Okay. Superhero name. I'm gonna go really basic.
Okay.
So first word, knight, and then we're gonna do an animal. But what animal?
Dragon? Or are you trying to go non-mystical?
Nightcap.
So,
It's basic enough.
Javier Rodriguez by day, Nightcap by night. Solid.
Then you're going to have a 3-sentence personality description. It's a 3-sentence description of your character's personality. Then you're going to have...
Rodriguez is a lazy motherfucker that breaks into other people's countries, goes over the borders, and he steals other people's jobs. It's not a personality.
I like how you finished it by saying that's not a personality.
Does his occupation Is that included in his personality?
That actually is something that's added later. So
Oh.
this is just your personality.
I was gonna say he works like for like McDonald's.
You'll get there, but we haven't gotten there yet.
Okay. How long does it have to be?
3 sentences. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun,
Obviously
dun,
goes by hobby.
dun, 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 dun,
Like
dun,
the
dun,
main
dun.
character in Walking Dead season 3. Javier.
Is his last name also Rodriguez?
No. I don't know what his last name is.
Okay. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on in Jank Heroes right now. Time Traveler, Galactonite, and Vlad are on an alternate world somewhere. We don't know where because they went through a wormhole. And on this world, there's like a rainforest. There are only a bunch of beasts. They're like no humans, but all of the beasts are like human level intelligence minimum. And there's a shrine in the center of the planet. A lot of people are after Time Traveler because there's a $1 million bounty on his head that was put on by the Springdale News. Because everyone remembers that Time Traveler killed this kid, but there's no evidence for it. Then you already know about the havoc that's being caused by the memer, who's Winslow's character, who's essentially attempted and succeeded at killing a bunch of babies, and accidentally committing acts of terrorism.
How is he a hero?
He actually hasn't done anything heroic yet.
So how is he a hero?
I don't know. Oh, have you finished your 3 sentences?
No.
Oh, okay. You're still working. Let's see. Time Traveler only has 2 powers. He can move objects through time and space, and he can remove one character's immunity for 1 day. So let's say you were immune to getting moved through time and space. He could say, you're not immune to that for 1 day, and then he moves you through time and space. Or if he attempts to move you into the sun, and he's like, I'm immune to the heat of the sun, you'd be like, no, you're not, and then you die because the sun kills you because you're not immune to it. You'd have to be immune to a lot more than just the heat to not die from getting sent to the center of the sun. You'd have to be immune to a lot of shit. Let's see. And that's all Time Traveler can do, power-wise. Then Punky's 2 powers are, he can turn people's shoes into mud, and he can create infinite blunts. Nerd Tanker's character has a danger sense, so he can sense danger, and he has an army, he has an armory that contains infinite weapons. Let's see. Then Winslow's character, the Memer, has a lot of powers, but he only really ever uses like 2 of them. He can transfer his consciousness into pretty much anything, and he can convince any number of people or individual to do something. So he could come up to you and be like, oh, you should just like shoot yourself, and then like you would do it. So he's kind of like the Purple Man from Jessica Jones. Did you do your 3 sentence personality?
Got
this week?
one more.
Oh, you got one more? Sweet. Let's see. So Winslow has what it takes to become a pretty good villain, and a pretty powerful villain. Bangzel's character, the Historian, he summons different things from different mythologies and histories in order to assist him on his adventures. Like, that's what all his powers do. Then Matt's character, aka Mr. Hand, named Shadow Darkgale, his character is all about pulling things from video games into real life. Like, that's his main thing. And he also does some stuff related to, like, shadow manipulation.
How specific can I be with his personality? Can I say, like, something that he enjoys is related to, like, his family?
Sure, yeah. Galactonite's powers are he can heal people, and he can throw grenades of different types. So he has like flashbangs, he has like normal frag grenades, he has smoke grenades, which have been really helpful. Oh, yo, Kirby, welcome to the stream. It's good to have you. Kirby said pineapples, then you said, hey, I like the Joker poster over there. He said, at least I think it's the Joker. Mm-hmm. Yep, that's the Joker. It's just the angle of the camera doesn't show it fully. But yeah, he has a Star Wars poster, a Dragon Ball Z Resurrection F poster, a Joker poster. He has multiple drawings done by his girlfriend Serena. He has the really big universe. Is that a yeah, there's a poster. I almost thought that was a book.
It is a book.
Oh, it is a book. He has a book on a wall. And he has a wall scroll. There's a Dragon Ball Z wall scroll. One day we'll do like a tour of Dozer's room with his permission.
What are they called when they're like traveling merchants, but they're also like do like magical mind reading stuff?
Gypsies. Another name for it is like an Irish traveler. Another name for it is to be like a Romani.
Alright, there you go.
Okay. Would you like to read your 3-sentence personality description?
Alright. Your character's name is Javier Rodriguez, and the hero name I came up with, something basic. It's Nightcat. So, like, night and then an animal. Easy. So, hot-headed but intelligent, Javi makes decisions carefully and is distracted easily by smack talk. His near-contradictory personality leads him to fight strategically but emotionally. He dabbles in magic regrettably due to his family's history of being gypsies.
Interesting. I dig it.
Health. So you're going to roll 3d20 to determine your character's starting health. If your character takes damage, it is subtracted from your health. And of course, when your health reaches 0, your character dies.
So 3d20s to determine your character's health?
3 times?
Vegeta said, hey. He said, lol, look at Nick. Oh, Faith Barnes.
Ugly.
One of the girls. Faith Barnes is the girl that I asked out at Cookout. She just accepted my friend request.
So I roll this 3 times to determine health?
Yep, and you add them all together.
That's a lot more health than D&D gives me.
Yeah. You're never gonna get more health, so hope you roll. He rolled a 1. You rolled a 1. Roll that again. That's very indescript. Okay, 14 right now. 14 plus 8. So that's 18 plus 4. So then that's 22, I believe. Or did I fuck up that? No, that 18 plus 4 is 22.
14 plus 4 is 18.
14 plus 4 is 18.
That's correct. And
Yes.
then plus what?
4 again.
Plus what?
You only rolled 3 times. You had a 1, then you had a 13.
So 18 is mine?
And then you had a... Oh, shit. Wait.
I had an 8, a 14, and a 1.
I thought you had an 8, like a 13 and a 1.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So
22.
14 plus 8, 22.
Yeah, you got 22 health.
Okay.
That's lower than average by about 8. Vegeta said, bruh. Then Vegeta said, how many girls keep saying no? A lot are married. Let's see, Kirby said, MSN, who is that guy on that TV over there? You already know what it is.
That's the boy, Dizzy.
Vegeta said, you look like James Harden. Just say you're a basketball player and that your name's James Harden. Or say that you got a Harden.
He's got a hard on. 22?
22. So slightly lower than average. You might want to have a healing ability. Vegeta said, "What is this?" Right now, your boy Dozer is making a character, for our game Jank Heroes Funnifyic. We actually have multiple episodes of Funnifyic up right now, and multiple people have built characters. Excuse me. So it's been pretty exciting.
Money. So in order to determine your starting money, you're gonna roll 2d20. Your character's starting money can be spent to buy things at shops around Springfield.
So 2d20 to determine your starting money. Okay, 9 plus 14, so 23. There you go.
$23.
Yep, you have $23. Vegeta said, "Were you playing a PS2 earlier?" He was playing Xbox 360 earlier, actually. Let's see. Kirby said, "Dozer makes a Jank Heroes Funnifyic character." Kirby says that he has 4d20. Nice.
Max power usage of a game session. Whenever you use a power, it is subtracted from your max power usage of the game session. If you run out of power usages, you can no longer use your powers for the rest of the game session. You roll 1d20 in order to determine your max power usage of the game session.
This means that you could use your powers possibly once a game session if you roll really low, or up to 20 times a game session if you roll really high.
How long is the game?
1 hour.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, you only ever play for 1 hour at a time.
So I roll how many times?
You roll once. You could get as low as a 1 or as high as a 20. 18? Nice. Vegeta said, "I just watched Drake's new song vid. He said the song and video is good." He then said, "Maka no is." So you can use your powers up to 18 times a day. Nice.
Maximum number of powers. This is the maximum number of powers you can have, and is determined by rolling 1d20. Dan?
Okay. Maximum number of powers is determined by rolling 1d20. Essentially, you can have no more powers than your max number of powers. So essentially, you're gonna roll 1d20. If you roll a 1, that will mean that the maximum number of powers you can have is 1 power. If you roll a 20, it means that your character can at most have 20 powers.
And you can only use any power 18 times?
So collectively 18. Let's say you have like invisibility and flight are your only 2 powers. You can use, let's say you use invisibility once, now you only have 17 usages. Now you use flight, now you only have 16 usages, and it keeps going down. So each power subtracts from the same number of power usages. Vegeta was talking about how Dragon Ball Super just got better. 11. Okay, so you have 11 powers. Well, 11 is your max number of powers that you can have. Vegeta said, "Rip Vegeta." Yeah, Vegeta did get that ass beat. Spoilers for Dragon Ball Super. Kirby said, "The number of powers your character can have can get very cluster trucky." Vegeta said, "That Jiren. He eliminated me. He eliminated Vegeta." Okay, next.
Each power can be, you roll this for each power. So for each power your character can have, roll 1d20. Powers can deal damage or use a special effect to use. This is the amount of damage a power can deal. So let's say you have 2 powers. You could roll 1d20 and roll a 16. Your first power then is 16 damage or use a special effect. Then let's say for your second power you roll a 4 on the d20. That means your second power can do 4 damage or you can use a special effect. 1 sentence.
Okay, so 11 times you're gonna roll a d20, and for each one of those d20 rolls, you're gonna like mark down the number that you get, and that's the damage that each one of your powers will do individually.
But I don't have 11 powers that I just have.
You're about to, like, after you roll the damage for each one, you have to roll the damage for all of them first. After that, you're at a 1 sentence description for each of those powers. We'll get to that. We're not there yet. Right now, each power will just have a numerical value, which will tell you how much damage each one will do. Okay, your first power will deal 18 damage. You're probably going to want to start writing on, like, I guess a different sheet. What?
So 18.
Oh, I see what you did there. Cool. He made like a little chart on his sheet. But it really fucked with me. I wasn't sure what was happening. Kirby said, would it be illegal for the spectator characters to transfer their energy to Goku? Didn't they let him do a spirit bomb earlier? It's like the same thing.
That's right, it is the same thing.
And then Ribrienne pulled love from her universe earlier. Like, it seems like it's fine. I don't know why they're not doing that. Oh, if your roll thing falls off of your roll surface, just roll again. So you want to make sure it stays on your roll surface. 13 for your second power's damage. 3 for your third power's damage. Fun fact, while your powers have fixed damage amounts, NPCs deal damage by rolling 2d20s and then taking the difference. So NPCs can't deal 20 damage. It's like actually impossible. But you...
That's 3 11s in a row.
There you go. A lot of your powers can deal 11 damage. That one only deals 8 damage, however.
17.
Gotta keep it on that roll surface. That one only deals 3 damage.
Alright, fine. We're starting all the rolls.
16. And after that, you got one more damage roll. 6. And then next up,
Special effect description. You have one of these for each power. Powers can deal damage or use a special effect if used. Each power has a unique 1 sentence description of your special effect. So essentially, you write a 1 sentence description, 1 sentence that determines what your power special effect is. Location of your base.
okay, so here's the one thing that a lot of people don't understand, because even Kirby just asked, how would a power like invisibility deal damage? So for each power you have, it can either deal damage or do a special effect. So let's say you have invisibility. Invisibility will either damage your opponent for whatever you rolled for damage, or turn you invisible. It's not doing both. It's doing like one or the other.
How is invisibility damaging her?
Because you're either choosing to just deal the damage for invisibility, or actually turning invisible. In other words, each power can have like a damaging roll or like a utility based roll. So you now will write 11 like 1 sentence descriptions of what your power does. The only limit to what your power can do is the 1 sentence description. like whatever you write in that sentence. So semantics really do matter. Oh man, my boy pulled out the pen. We're done with these pencils. It's pen time.
Yeah.
It seems like your character sheet's just going to be on multiple big cards, maybe? Or on just one card and you flip it over? I don't know.
So would it be beneficial for me to make the lower damaging powers utility ones?
Okay, so this is another thing that I feel like most people don't understand. You want all of them to be utility, because all of them can deal damage or do utility.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you're choosing to either just deal damage or use the like special effect.
So if I was trying to deal damage, I would literally only use my first ability.
Yeah, you'd just only use like the first half of it. Like you can.
Wait.
Let's say my power is invisibility and I rolled a 6 for damage. I can either choose to just like damage my opponent for 6 or to turn invisible.
Okay, I understand, but the only reason you would use any of the other abilities aside from the ability that does the most damage is for the utility.
is for the utility effect.
Then you're just dealing 18 damage every attack.
Mhm.
What?
Yeah, you're right. No, that's perfect. That's how that works.
I don't like that.
You're like,
then there's no variation of damage.
Well, I mean, there is if you just use a different thing. What if someone hits you with an attack that straight up just, like, makes one of your powers not work? Because Aiden, aka Winslow, has a power where he can steal his opponent's powers, but because his maximum power has already been reached, right? Like, he can't have more than the number he rolled. It becomes like a physical object, so he can't use it. Like, if he was to steal one of your powers, he would get, like, an item that he has that represents your power, but he can't, like, use it for his own.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So imagine you're fighting Aiden, and you're like, well, I'm just gonna use my thing that'll hit him for 18 damage. And then Aiden goes, oh, well, I'm just gonna steal his 18 damage power, and now I have this thing I can't use, but now he can't use that power because I have it. So it's good that you have more than just that one power, so that Aiden can't just copy you. Plus, you could fight an opponent that has a really dumb specific power, like, my opponent's power number 3 doesn't affect me. Like, when that's just a random gamble, hoping that their number 3 is, like, the one that they use the most. Actually, it would be interesting if we had, like, a gambling-based character, and all their powers were based on, like, cucking their opponent based on specific numbers.
So can I just start by only writing a few sentences for my powers?
Well, you write one sentence for each one, so you have,
What
like...
if I don't want 11 powers right now?
Oh, no, you have to start with all 11.
Why?
Because you could do something like, oh, you mean I have 13 total powers? Cool, fam. So what I'll do is I'll only write down one of them, and that power is to steal powers. And then I'll wait to encounter other characters and take theirs and add it to my power list until I have everybody else's shit, and then I just beat them up. So right now, Dozer's referring to
So
the
I just
front
write
of the
anything
sheet.
I want.
Yeah, one sentence thing. Now, it is interesting that you decided to use a pin for this one, because I feel like you should run certain things past me, just to make sure that, like, it doesn't cuck you in the game. Like I said, semantics matters. Like, the way you write it will determine what actually happens. Because Aiden, during his character creation thing, would write something, and then I would say, you do know that, like, the literal interpretation of what you said doesn't match what you actually meant. And he's like, but you know what I meant. And it's like, but that's not what you wrote. Yeah.
Okay, so for my first power, what I'm thinking is something along the lines of, it kind of is magic, but, I mean, I guess it is magic. He's like calling upon his gypsy ancestors, and their ghosts like come out and just attack the shit out of the enemy.
Well, Dozer,
What?
there's no reason to make your utility offensive.
I'm writing just the utility.
Well, keep in mind, any one of your powers can just do damage or do a utility.
So I would make them all.
Yeah,
something
yeah. Why
else.
make it redundant? Is my thing.
Okay, how about?
Oh, here's an example that might help you. So Matt's character Shadow Darkgale has an attack-based power, right? But the way that it works is it makes its attack land depending on a certain situation. So it's like, when my character attacks, it emerges from my opponent's shadow. So it has like an actual weight on how the attack works versus just like, oh, it's dealing damage this way. You know what I mean? So Kirby said, my healing ability could also just be a straight damaging move. Yeah. Kirby said, a power that would be interesting is roll 1d20, and that's how much damage this power would deal this time. Someone tried that, and it just doesn't work that way, because all the damages are preset before you write the sentences.
You can't have a power that's telling you how much the power does because it's already been done.
Yeah. The order of character creation makes that, like, not a thing. The order of character creation is also what makes steel power a shitty power. That's why Aiden can only just have objects instead of people's actual powers. So right now, Dozer, I guess, is in deep thought, because he has like 11 things to come up with. I guess I'm always confused by this part when people are like not sure about their powers. I mean, I imagine you've had certain powers that you've always wanted, and now you can just have them because there's like no real limit to what you can do. Kirby said it was in response to you mentioning a gambling character. True. I think one thing that would be cool, like with the whole gambling motif, would be like, your power is you could play a game of blackjack with your opponent, and if you win the game of blackjack, your opponent dies. Like, just like dumb shit. So Dozer's, I guess, just looking at me and thinking.
What if I did like, so like he calls upon his gypsy ancestors, and they turn him into a ghost like them for a certain amount of time? What would be the amount of time that I would do?
I don't know. It's up to you. Oh, this was something that came up when Winslow was making his character. He would put at the end of his power sentences, for as long as I want, because he didn't want to get cucked. He didn't want to be like, I use my power of flight to fly or whatever, right? And then I say like, you used that like a moment ago, but you're not using it now, and you die. Because like, you just fall out of the sky and you like hit the ground. So at the end of his powers, he would be like, da-na-na-na-na, for as long as I want. But yeah, it's like a genie wish. Like, if you're too vague or too specific, it could fuck you. You want to be like right in the middle. And using a pen, I think, makes it worse, to be honest. Right now he's writing down his first special ability. Remember one sentence for each one. Because I remember Aiden was like, could it just be a run-on? And I was like, dude, chill out. Like, don't just put a bunch of commas in this bitch. Like, just make it one sentence. Aiden would write something, and when he hit, like, the second comma, I'd be like, please calm down. Please. That's not how this works. And don't think the power of implication helps you. It's all about what you specifically said. If you write down, I can lift 50 pounds, that doesn't necessarily mean that the force of your punches is, like, equal to the amount that you can lift, because that's not what you said. You know what I mean? Very specific. Kirby said, for as long as I want, so I don't just fall out of the sky at random. Kirby said, I feel like I cheated a little bit, because I didn't roll for my max power amount. I just chose the same number as Jared. I think in that first playthrough, I just straight up told you guys to pick the same number as Jared. So, I mean, that's not your fault. That was just me. I'm watching Dozer write the for as long as. Gosh. Remember one sentence. I think you have like 2 commas. Chill. The idea is for them to be concise. Like, that's why it's one sentence.
Read it.
Read it out.
Javi calls upon his gypsy ancestors. Their spirits turn him into a specter or ghost. Can be used as long as needed and return to human when needed.
Yeah, shorter in the future. Shorter than one sentence. You had 2 commas. 2 commas is too much. This is one. I don't even think you should need 1 comma. For real.
I gotta explain the power.
You gotta do it in one sentence. Give them commas at a minimum. Kirby said my max usages I did roll for though. I see. It is important to know your max usages. So far, when it comes to playstyles, Aiden is not conservative at all with his power usages. He'll go ham. He'll use his powers like the whole session. And still won't run out, but he'll get closer to running out than like anyone else. When Jared plays, he's very conservative with his power usages. He may only use his powers 4 times in an entire hour. Which is interesting, because he really doesn't have to. He could play a lot more like Aiden. Though I must admit, Aiden gets in a lot of trouble, because he doesn't fully understand the implications of his actions. So right now, Dozer's trying to decide on his second power out of 11 powers. One thing that's interesting about Dozer's current predicament is that he's using his DC encyclopedia as a writing surface, which is a book filled with heroes that have unique and interesting powers. It's almost like if he wanted some inspiration, he could just crack open a book and just automatically have information on like any character he wanted to know, for real. As a matter of fact, do you mind if I look? Oh no, he's about to write. Yeah, you need the book to write. Dun, 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 dun. Doo, 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 doo. Currently popping his knuckles, getting ready. You always get me whenever you write his name first. Oh, cool. Okay, read your second power thing.
Javi can disguise himself as a cat for as long as needed. Night cat.
Makes sense.
Obviously.
Kirby said, which was 20, by the way. He can use his powers up to 20 times. Kirby said, remember what I said earlier about this part being very cluster trucky? Then Kirby said, wow. I like Jared's character description. Jared's character description was like, he's a good guy. Something about he likes memes. Like, it was really simple. Oh, do you mind if I show you a specific character in this book real quick? So I really like that you ended up doing a gypsy thing. I've been thinking about a gypsy character as of recent, trying to create my own fictional character. And I feel like your character will give me a really good opportunity to introduce more gypsy stuff to Jank heroes. I've been thinking about gypsies a lot. But there was a member of the Justice League back in the day who straight up was named Gypsy. And since you're currently thinking of powers, I think it'd be cool if we could look at Gypsy's powers. Gypsy had mystically generated illusion casting, light bending, sound projection and distortion, and advanced unarmed combat techniques. But she's on page 133 if you ever want to get some inspiration on a Gypsy-based character. Aww. I love the little happy birthday message to send me thing. That's cool. I got mine somewhat for Christmas. Gabby bought me a D&D book I couldn't use, but put the receipt in it, so then I... yeah.
What if I wanted to make a power where I just say, like, I can just blow up any planet I want?
That's so specific. Like, I wouldn't let you use that on anything that wasn't a planet. You couldn't be like, Bob, yeah.
But I could just threaten anyone I wanted. I'd be like, dude, I will blow up the entire planet if you don't just shut the fuck.
I'm not sure. People would probably take it as a bluff. Because how would they know? How would they know that you would actually blow up the planet?
I'll be like, okay, come here real quick.
You give up a telescope?
Get a telescope. Look at Mars over there. It's not to not be there.
Kirby said, just because her name is Gypsy doesn't mean she is a gypsy. But she
guy
is,
isn't a
though.
gypsy.
The gypsy actually is a gypsy.
I'm gonna do like an Iron Fist ability, and its usage is more for like blowing down doors.
Specifically doors?
Locked doors.
Locked doors.
I'm
So
thinking
it's
of like a really utility move here, man.
Let's see. What was I thinking? The gypsy character that I keep thinking about, right? And I may put him into Jank Heroes, because you're giving me a good opportunity to put some gypsy stuff in due to your character's lore, is Bar Knuckle. So his name is Bar and Knuckle. And he is a redhead Irish traveler, which is like another name for gypsy. And he settles everything through a bare knuckle fight, which is like it's a gypsy tradition to like settle shit with bare knuckle fights. If you go on YouTube and type in like gypsy fight, you'll get a bunch of videos of like two guys, no weapons, they're just having a fight. You only use your arms, like you only like fight with your fist, and that's it. And it's like a way for you to settle disputes and to like get shit out of the way. You know what I mean? You settle it with your fist. So I want Bar Knuckle to be a gypsy style character that does like bare knuckle fights, right? But the way that he does it is that he'll fight people that have powers or weapons, and he'll be like, no, I want to settle it bare knuckle. So he'll negate their abilities so that he can just fight them with his fist. But he has like time-based powers. So he has to find a way to manipulate time to where his opponent doesn't have access to their weapon or powers, so he can just punch them.
Mm-hmm.
That's his whole thing. That's what I want.
Alright. So this third ability is just something that I think would be useful, you know, if I'm doing like a dungeon crawl, right? Why would I be doing a dungeon crawl in this game? But if there's locked door in my way or a locked chest that I want to fucking see inside. The third ability is I charm any lock to be unlocked.
Okay. Kirby said, I guess I'm glad that I'm on a different planet right now. Are you glad? It sounds like if he wanted to threaten you specifically, he'd be like, well, I'm not even on your planet. Like, if I blew it up, I would have no personal consequence. Then he said, like a monk, in reference to Bar Knuckle. Yeah, and the idea that you can just, like, punch stuff to get out of your problems.
He'd be a really good ability that's so broad that you could use it on anything. Can destroy any matter or collection of matter, no matter how large.
Okay.
Couldn't you just blow up planets then?
Yeah. That's, like, way better than just blowing up planets.
But that includes blowing up planets.
Yeah, if they're made of matter. He, like, tries to blow up a
wait,
planet.
not
It's
all planets
actually
are made out
of antimatter.
Some planets
It's
are
actually
like,
made of dark
you know, like
matter or
gas
something.
giants. Aren't those just like collections of gas?
Gas is matter.
Is it?
Yeah, the states of matter.
Oh.
Yeah.
Gas, liquid, solid.
Plasma, boson, Einstein, condensate. There are actually a lot of states of matter. You just wouldn't be able to destroy non-matter things. Kirby says he doesn't know what and where my current planet is. How would he blow it up? The answer is subspace communicators. He could just see where you are. Your subspace communicator would be like, he's over there. And then he'd be like, oh, he's over there. It's the same way that if Jared has his subspace communicator on, you can just track him. Yeah, because it's like a video feed of wherever you are. Kirby said crap. Yeah. And I mean, this new power has nothing to do with planets in particular. He can just destroy matter. So, this is actually really powerful. I'm not sure if this is better than Jared's ability to move things through space and time. I don't think it is. It's not better, but I think it's more efficient. Because Jared will use his power to send things to the center of the sun. But what if instead of sending things to the center of the sun, you just destroyed them? Also, your thing just defies physics, like what you just wrote. Because matter cannot be created or destroyed, but your power straight up says you just destroy it, yeah.
Destroy anything or anyone made of matter or collection of matter, no matter its size.
No matter its size. I feel like you're going to need another index card.
I will. This has nothing to do with being a gypsy, I just felt like putting that in there.
You just felt like
It's
it was
he's
a good
also a
power.
gypsy, and he has this random ability where he just destroys matter. That's not a gypsy thing.
It messes with me that you still have like achievements from Dragon Ball FighterZ, but you don't own it.
Well, I still have the game downloaded, and I also have the blue characters that I bought. They can't take that away from me.
I feel like if you just had a disc that didn't actually have the game on it, but like the system just recognized it as Dragon Ball FighterZ and it allowed you to play the game, that'd be really cool. So it's not like pirating, like it's not just like a copy of the game, but it just tricks the system into believing you have the game in it, and because you've already installed the game and downloaded the stuff, it just lets you play it.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be really cool. Kirby said he is a gypsy. How does he fight? Blowing up things. It didn't even say blow up, it's just destroy. He has like Hakai for matter. Right now, Dozer's character seems like it could possibly defeat Goku. Do you think you could kill Beerus with your current character?
This next one, man. Yeah.
Feel like with this next power? Beerus, look out. Kirby said, doesn't the Hakai still explode, though? It doesn't have to. Zamasu didn't seem like he exploded. Not at all. Oh, I'm seeing some commas. Calm the fuck down.
It's one comma.
Okay, read it.
Turn any living being into their infant self. effect can be reversed if Javi chooses.
Oh wow, that sounds like something Barnacle could do. Looks like you're gonna need another index card to do your next 6 abilities. Barnacle. I also want him to yell his name when he like hits people. I don't know. I might have you fight Barnacle. Or maybe
could I do like a Captain Ginyu move, where I can just like body swap with the other person?
That's legitimately what Aiden has, except it's not even a swap. He just would take you.
What do you mean he would take me?
He has the power to transfer his consciousness. So, what he's done so far is if he does it to you, he just becomes you. It's not even like you're there anymore. Like, you don't go into his body at all. Like, he took away the swap part of it. Like, if he was to use it on Goku...
Where does he go, though?
His body just collapses in place.
So he just doesn't have his own body anymore?
Mm-hmm.
That's stupid.
You're not wrong. It's great. So far, he's only ever done it while he was in his base, so his body just collapses in his base.
So then he's just someone else permanently?
No. All his powers and health and stuff go with him, but not his items. Like, anything he has on him just stays with his body.
Oh, but he's still someone else currently.
Yeah. He's used it to become the chief of police. He's used it to become a flock of birds, because he can move his consciousness into multiple things simultaneously. It's really ridiculous. But essentially, I was just telling you someone else kind of already has done that, but it's not a swap. It's like maximum greed. Kirby said he used it on grass before. Yeah, Aiden moved his consciousness into grass.
So, I was thinking of doing for my level 6, I was thinking of doing...
Level 6.
My level 6 ability. I could do like this bubble, sort of like a shield, and it protects my character from any non-physical attacks.
So, fuck, how did we determine how defense things would work? Like, there's like a math thing behind it. I know that the way that healing works is that whatever your damage number is how much you would heal if you had a healing power. For defense, I think whenever you defend, you would roll 2d20, and then the difference is how much you would defend for. So there's no, like, absolute defense in this game. It's, like, based on a roll.
You'd roll what?
2d20, and the difference is how much it would defend for.
So you can only defend for damaging attack?
You lost me.
You could only defend for damaging attacks. Like, if somebody's using an attack that's, like, to read your mind, and you use the block attack.
Oh, well, you would want a power that would protect you. That was not, like... you wouldn't use, like, a shield in that way, right? You would use something that's more like... Their power does not affect me in some way. Be careful, though, because Jared's power straight up is like, if you're immune, you're not. Like, that's one of his things. Kirby said, like a bubble shield. So keep in mind, other players have already thought about, like, oh, my opponent's immune? Well, duh, they're just not. Like, I got you.
Okay. How about, like, the super deflect that deflects anyone's powers and reverses it onto them? So if that wouldn't even, you can't even like, really reverse that to them. But, like, it'd be like, if they try to use a power on you,
They use it on themselves instead.
it would be used on themselves instead.
Make sure you phrase it right. Like I said, it happens the way you wrote it. You know what that kinda sounds like? The Black Panther kinetic burst thing, but like less specific. Kirby said, wouldn't the redirect also have a chance to fail? So for a lot of powers, if someone tries to use a power on you, the GM can give the option of resist, and if the opponent rolls and succeeds the resist, then the power doesn't affect them. So let's say Dozer tries to, like, destroy someone's matter. If the opponent succeeds a resist check, their matter's just not destroyed. It's to keep people from having powers that just immediately would, like, win them the game.
So I finished it here. It's called Super Deflect, and this is one of the only ones that I gave an actual name, so I feel like it's fitting. Super Deflect can be used at any moment to force any opponent's abilities or attacks to instead be dealt towards himself.
So now you got ability number 7 going on the paper. Also, if you guys were paying attention to how defense works, you'll notice that defense works very similar to how NPC's attack works. So they go hand in hand. It's like actually the same roll, where it's like 2 d20s and you take the difference. That means you can defend for as much as an NPC can deal, but you can't defend for as much as a player can potentially deal. NPCs can't deal 20 damage, but players potentially can. Right now, Dozer's thinking about what his 7th ability might be. Right now, I feel like you could do rather good against like quite a few opponents. I'm very curious what some of your powers actually do against certain characters. Like Winslow's character could be like, oh, Dozer seems really powerful, I'll just take over his body, and like he tries to transfer his consciousness, and then you go, super deflect, and then Winslow's just still in his own body, and he's like, what? Like, Kirby said, a grenade I've thought of is a cluster bomb. Are those allowed, Nick?
Wait a second. I just thought about what you just said. During the super deflect, wouldn't his consciousness already have left his body, so wouldn't his body collapse and he would just go back to nothing? His consciousness would be just left in nothing.
Don't think of his consciousness leaving his body as like a beam. It's not like Gindu.
It's a beam.
There's not a I like what you're thinking though. The idea that it would try to go back and it would miss or whatever. But I think Winslow would just be in a state where he would be confused because it seems like nothing happened. Based on the way that both powers are described. But Kirby, it depends on how you wrote your grenade power description. Like, does your grenade power description specifically say that you, like, can make frag, smoke, sleep, and, like, do you list your specific grenades, or does your power say, I can make special grenades, and it's just really vague? I think we talked to you about the vague thing, and we didn't want it to be too vague, because then you could have grenades that literally could do anything. You could be like, I have super deflect grenades, and when they explode, they deflect my opponent's powers and things away. Kirby is now quoting the sentence.
Okay. This one was not that long. It's just you permanently trap an opponent in a gypsy book of pocket prison dimensions.
A gypsy book of pocket prison dimensions.
He carries around like a gypsy book. Opens up the fucking book, reads a passage real quick, sucks them into the book, and they're in like a pocket dimension.
It's interesting that it says permanently too.
Yeah, permanently. Like there's no like, oh, there's a time limit on it. Oh, you didn't specify how long they were in there. They pop back out.
Why did you write permanently instead of just for as long as I want? It sounds like you
I
could.
don't want to take them out.
Well, it sounds like you could put someone in the prison and then be like, "Oh fuck, I could really use them right now," and then be like, "They're in the book permanently because I put them in permanently."
So yeah, I guess I would. They'd have to figure out how to get themselves out if they could.
It just was a weird time for you to not use for as long as I want. Don said Dozer in the cut, and then he said, "Where's Jet?" Over here. He said, "Is he out?" I'm on the side. This is mainly about Dozer building his character. He's right now writing down his 8th ability. He has a total of 11 abilities. Don said Kirby Ultra Instinct. Kirby said his ability is he throws a frag grenade to deal 14 damage to all damageable throws a frag grenade to deal 14 damage to all damageable objects around the area thrown, or a special effect unique to the different grenade types. Then he said if I inhale Goku, maybe he would get Ultra Instinct. Then Don said Shaggy already mastered Ultra Instinct. Or a special effect unique to different grenade types. Well, that last sentence is vague enough for you to be able to have, like, cluster grenades.
8. That one's gonna be my heal. Ancestral spirits transfer into Hobby, healing himself.
Oh, Hobby. I thought you said into hobby, and I was like, my model train set is now possessed by my gypsy ancestors.
Okay, and that's my second most dealing, so you said it would just heal me for how much damage it does.
Mm-hmm.
So 17. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's good. Especially since you only have 22 health. Yeah, you really needed that healing ability. I'm glad you did that. Winslow tries to bother you, because Winslow made his whole character based around, like, trying to ruin everyone else's game session. So, like, you and Winslow are in a game session, and you go, "Oh, Winslow's trying to bother me? Destroy his matter." I wonder, does Winslow have any defense against having his matter destroyed? I wonder if Winslow would be like, he destroyed my matter, but where did my consciousness go? Transfer.
Where did my consciousness go? Well, it doesn't exist anymore. Your matter was destroyed. Your consciousness is actually
the energy
held up by
thing.
your
Yeah.
matter. So
Actually, is it arguable that if consciousness is energy, that if you destroyed all his matter,
It
as
isn't,
his...
you're only conscious because you have matter that makes you up.
But what about the research paper thing? We talked about this, like, yesterday.
Well, consciousness only exists like because of your brain. Once that's gone, there's nothing there. There's no consciousness.
Well, when you die, the consciousness leaves.
You don't know that.
That's what they say.
Nobody knows that.
That's what the thing says.
That cannot be observed.
Kirby said, it's like I would be throwing multiple frag grenades, making the first part of the power irrelevant. He said, I can heal Dozer, too, so that we can defend each other. Well, I mean...
Can one of my powers mean I just have a pet? I guess it'd be like a summon ability.
Yeah. Your grenade would do the same amount of damage even if it was the cluster grenade, because it's limited to the number damage that it can deal. It can't deal more or less damage than that number. Your boy Winslow can summon a Weenie Hut Jr.
It's not a being, though.
See, I thought it was a place
restaurant?
too, but
It
he
is a
he
place.
describes it like it's a hot dog guy.
So just a guy dressed up in a Weenie Hut Jr. costume?
I don't think it's a costume though, because the
He's
way
not.
he summons him is like a sentient hot dog.
Is
dude.
he just like the robot hot dog, but not a robot?
Yeah.
He's just a hot dog? From Weenie Hut Jr.? Or he is Weenie Hut Jr., the restaurant is based off of him.
Kirby said it's a restaurant from SpongeBob. Yeah.
But he summons a restaurant, but it's not a restaurant,
You
it's
know,
the actual,
person,
like,
yeah,
Weenie.
as like the mascot. It's like if my power was to summon Burger King and I summoned the Burger King
Not
mascot.
the restaurant, the guy.
Yeah. I summon Wendy's,
So
not
how
the
does
restaurant.
how does
the girl.
summoning things work? Like, do they get attacks too?
I love how I just shrugged. Like,
If I say they get attacked, how does that work?
it's normally your power is supposed to be utility, because they can either deal damage or do a utility. That's why it's always weird when
So
people
if I summon something, what would happen?
they would be there.
So how does their attack work?
Why would they? They could you could just use the damage part if you want to damage your opponent.
Oh, it'd be like I summon them and then they attack and they do that much damage. But would their attack count as my attack?
Your whole action would be like you summoned them. Like I don't. Kirby said cluster bombs would probably be just for show then. Yeah, that makes sense. Dozer's like, I'm trying to get more attacks, but I don't know how. Let's see, the way time travel works in Jank Heroes makes it where time travel is really good for making clones. And Shadow Darkgale straight up has a cloning ability. Like, he can just make more of himself. That's the easiest way to do it, I think. Because instead of it being like, oh, I summon something and I have to figure out how it works, you would just control all of the U's that exist. So it'd be like just controlling your normal characters, that there's more of them.
He just gets multiple attacks.
Kirby said try a power where you can revive a target. Kirby's saying you should have a power where you bring things back to life.
Oh, that's, yeah, that would work.
Kirby said, and then roll a d20 for how much health the revived player would have. I doubt it would be d20 based. I think it would be more like if you revived a dead target, maybe they get like 1 health, or maybe they get as much health as the power is worth. I'm not sure. We'd have to talk about it, I guess.
So, I was thinking of like a power where you can like revive a fallen enemy, and then but
They're
when
your
you
friend.
revive them, they're permanently loyal to you.
That's like Spider-Man friend or foe or whatever.
Is it?
Yeah, I never played that game, but I watched the commercials and it was really cool. Why? I guess I shouldn't say.
People in this game?
Winslow has killed quite a few babies. Jared's killed some enemies. Those are the only 2 people who have played this version of Jank Heroes, and they both have killed people. I don't know, maybe you're like Batman. Maybe you don't kill people. I don't know. Kirby said, how much damage would this power be worth, Dozer? Kirby said, I've tried to interfere in a fight. Didn't really work. So you gotta be careful. These power lists are thick.
I can't just have an ability where I say I kill somebody.
They die.
They die immediately.
What was the last one? Like, how'd you write it?
Revive any dead being. Once revived, they are permanently loyal to you.
You?
Me.
You.
The one who did, yeah, the
To
one.
you. It says you.
Yes, the person who did the ability.
You.
Yes.
Who is you?
The ability user. Who is you? Would you just assume who you is? I don't feel like that's fitting.
Remember, there's nothing implied in this game. So now you wrote Javi, right? Man. What's your name? I'm Javi Jacobs. I'm Javi Smith. I'm Javi Jr.
I find 0% likely that I'm going to meet anyone else named Javi in a game.
I'm another person named Javi Rodriguez. I have the exact same name. I'm
But
Javi
if that's the case,
Rodriguez
we'll just be loyal
from
to every
another
Javi.
universe.
There you go. Revive any dead being. Once revived, they're permanently loyal to the user.
Kirby said, you being the user. Kirby said, how far is the radius of my grenades? Since the power says they have a radius. We'll just let that one ride. Like, it'll depend on the situation. Maybe you'll roll a check sometimes for the radius. I don't know. It's good to keep certain things generic. Let's see, you're now on your 10th ability.
Can I use like an ability where I like summon a genie? But since he's like, hey, we're cool, you're fucking gypsy ancestors, man. You can have as many wishes as you want.
So you want a genie so that you can just have hella wishes. How are you gonna write it?
Javi summons a genie who is loyal to him and his ancestors. Therefore, he grants him
Sounds like a
unlimited
comma.
wishes.
Can we not have commas, please?
He grants him unlimited wishes.
Who is he?
Summon a genie loyal to you.
Who is you?
Who is you? Considering this is my ability, it couldn't be you. Could not be anyone else but me.
Oh, yeah, that actually would be like... This is a fine thing to say. In most games, things will say target. Like, destroy target spell or trap. Summon target monster. And target is a really nice way of avoiding having to say, like, me, he, she, it, you, them, because the target can be whatever you made the target of the ability. It's the easiest way to go about stuff like that. Because then a power doesn't necessarily have to be limited to yourself or anyone else. Even anything else, you could just you could target like a book. Like you could target whatever. Kirby said you can't have a power that gives more powers, Dozer. Kirby said similar to how I wrote my first power. Sweep Zwap. Let's see. Kirby said, power number 1 heals the target for 12 health. Yeah, like, target's really useful. Did you, like, look back to see if you had said you at any other point? And you go, dang, should I change it to
Summon a genie that is able and willing. See, I had to use both, just in case I said he's able and you're like, but he's not willing. He said he doesn't want to. Summon a genie that is able and willing to grant any wish to the user.
Is that even grammatically correct?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be for?
Grant any wish to the user.
To the user. Granting is different from giving?
He can give you a wish. If you wish for that. Yeah.
There you go. Kirby said I could target a friggin' blade of grass if I wanted. Yes, you could. Yes, you could.
My last ability is going to be turn anyone into Barack Obama. I'm going to use the target word. Turn target into Barack Obama. And Barack Obama doesn't have any special powers or anything, alright? So if I use this on somebody, they're just now Barack Obama and they're not fighting me anymore. They don't have any powers, they're just a normal guy.
People don't seem to lose their powers when they turn into things.
That's how this works, though. They are Barack Obama.
No.
Does Barack Obama have any powers?
Based on continuity, you can put your consciousness in someone else and you keep all your powers and even your health.
So if you say that's what you do.
That's what happens, though. That's like, we've already had campaigns where that's happened. So we're already aware if that's how it works.
Is this like just gonna be fights too? Is there gonna be any role playing?
There's hella roleplay. How do you think Aiden turns into blades of grass? Like, why? How would that happen in only fight situations? Your opponent goes, I don't kill grass. Oh, I gotta turn into grass. Like, that happened through roleplay. Clearly. Kirby said, wait, Magic the Gathering has done something similar to turning things into Barack Obama. Kirby said, look up turn to frog. Stuff like that's happened in comic books before.
What if I did an ability where he switched lives with his ancestors for a set period of time?
What does that even... Do you go back in time? How does that work?
They're dead, so you would have to.
So you would go back in time as one of the ancestors?
Yeah, you are one of them and they are you for a set period of time.
So it's a two-way swap. Like, the swap is both ways. Why? Why would you want them to be you?
It's not that you want them to be you, you want to be them.
So why even make it where they be you?
Because somebody's got to take over.
Or not? Cue your boy Winslow with My Body Collapses. Kirby says there are specific words in the rules text of the card Turn to Frog.
I'll do a time travel ability, but it won't be one that I can control. This will just be for fun.
Keep in mind, there's a character named Time Traveler who straight up has the power to, I can move objects through time and space. Well, through the time and space dimension.
Yeah, this one will just be for fun. And it'll be a rolling ability where I have to roll to figure out what it actually does.
Interesting.
That's something I can.
Kirby said, or Darksteel Mutation. as like another card that I guess is like turn to frog. I kind of want to lay down, but then I'll be farther away from the thing. I also need to pee. I guess while you're riding your 11th power, I'll pee real quick, so I'll be right back.
Why does Etrigan weigh so much?
How much is he weighing?
3,512 pounds.
3,000?
And he's only 6'4".
He should be significantly fatter.
Why is he not? I don't understand. Where is all the weight? Is he just like made of like heavy shit?
Is it his suit? Like, is that
They would not factor his suit into his weight. No way.
You're telling me his weight is based on like naked Etrigan?
Yes.
When did naked Etrigan ever get weight? Never.
When did he get weight in his suit?
Probably.
No.
Where do you think the number comes from?
I don't know. They would have to have made it up, I guess. But why did they make up 3,000?
Because he probably would put on like a scale or whatever. And like, I don't know. It's such a specific number. Kirby said, turn to frog and dark sea mutation are enchantments that transform a creature, change their stats, and make them lose their abilities. Right now I'm lying down. Dozer's trying to decide on his final ability. Excuse me.
Turn into Jonah Hex. No?
Fictional characters are not canon. Excuse me. So characters like Goku and Superman and stuff aren't in the continuity.
Actually, they could be there.
But they're not.
Why not?
Because I write and publish books on Jank heroes, and I don't have the rights to those characters. Kirby said, how much is your healing ability for, Dozer? I believe he said 17. He's still thinking about his 11th ability. I guess things got real when you got to your last one. And the Barack Obama plan fell flat.
It's a teleportation ability, but you can't choose where you teleport. You can only teleport into Barack Obama's bathroom.
Why choose now to make him like have drawbacks for no reason?
You can only teleport into Barack Obama's bathroom while it's using. Battering. New stuff, you never heard of that.
Kirby said, "It's like this in my last one. I've got to make this count." Oh, he's like, it's like this is my last one. I gotta make this count. Yeah, I see that. Sometimes Superman can survive in space. Sometimes he can't. I don't understand why it's so wishy-washy. Oh. How would you feel if Gohan, as a kid, got into Injustice 2? Just Kid Gohan, Injustice 2. Why would he do that? Just him. No other Dragon Ball representation. Kid Gohan, Injustice 2.
No.
Would you say Kid Gohan was like your least favorite version of Gohan?
No.
So you prefer him over Teen Gohan? Or, oh wait, no, Super Gohan is the worst version of Gohan. You're right. Kirby said, we could make this a voice call, so you're not moving to the computer. This is not Google Hangouts, though. We're filming using my phone. So we're on the YouTube app, and the YouTube app doesn't have an option for you guys to just talk. At least I don't think it does. That would be interesting if it did. Now if we had streamed this over Amino instead of over YouTube Gaming, if we had streamed this on the YouTube Gaming app and streamed Amino instead of like streaming ourselves, that would have actually worked out pretty well. You could have had a virtual copy of your character sheet for 1, and then for 2, we could have chatted directly back and forth, even using like little voice message things. So that would have been interesting. That's definitely food for thought for things we could do in the future. Kirby said, bollocks. Don said, dang, still? Yep, hour and 30 minutes in. He's currently trying to figure out what his final ability will be. Let's see. Kirby said, well, hold on, I gotta go back. Don said, who's that? Kirby said, 11 powers can really strain the mind. Don said, is that Nickelodeon? Kirby said, that be Dozer. And then Don said, oh, okay, lol. The suspense, though. This has been a very suspenseful live stream. Warning for those who can't handle true suspense. Use suspense times 11. Times an hour and 30 minutes. It's ultimate suspense. Your boy Dozer's going in. I quickly remind Dozer, try to keep commas to like 0, like no commas if possible. One sentence, you get one sentence. A single sentence, no more sentences.
Okay.
What's your 11th ability?
My 11th ability is turn any object into a person and turn any person into an object.
And?
Yes.
It says and.
There
That
is no
requires you
and,
to do
actually.
both things.
Actually, it does not. There is no and.
Oh, what does it say?
It's a comma.
It's a comma? Stop putting commas. So read it again.
Turn any object into a person, any person into an object.
Kirby said the suspense is killing me. Oh gosh, splat. Hold on. I don't even understand if that's like grammatically correct.
Turn any object into a person or any person into an object.
That's better. Okay, those are your 11 abilities. Time to get back to normal, just character creation.
There is one of every possible location in Springdale. Each location is named the Springdale blank. For example, the Springdale Bank and the Springdale Brothel are a couple of examples. Your base can be any one of these locations. It's your choice.
Okay, so write down the location of your base. There's one of every kind of location in Springdale. So your base must be located at the Springdale blank. And the Springdale blank can be like the Springdale High School, the Springdale Water Park, the Springdale Cthulhu Ritual Burial Ground. You know, there's the Springdale anything. Oh, let's see. Kirby said that sounds like 2 powers. He put an or in there, and he didn't put in a shit ton of commas. It didn't seem too bad to me.
Base, Springdale Apartment 73.
Kirby said, Cthulhu Ritual Burial Ground. He said, oh my gosh, Jet. What? I mean, there's one in Springdale. There's one everything in Springdale.
Even in Apartment 73.
Is that what you're gonna do?
Yes.
The Springdale apartment number 71.
At the Springdale Apartments.
At the Springdale apartment.
I'll just make Springdale Apartments.
Springdale apartments is your base.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's where I hang around.
That's where you hang around. That's really interesting. Not gonna lie. Okay, well I guess I gotta press the play button again. That is how this works.
One sentence superhero suit description. Describe your superhero suit in one sentence. You can put on your superhero suit at any time until your subspace communicate. 1.
So you're about to do a 1-sentence description of your superhero suit. It's what your character wears when they're a superhero. Kirby said, so your base and where you live will be at Springdale Apartments.
How do you know I live there?
Everyone does. It's not even like a choice.
It's not a secret base. What is it? Would you think my base would be in the same place that I live?
You're like, that is the secret.
How do I describe my suit?
1 sentence.
Just what it looks like?
These character creation streams are surprisingly long. You know why I say that? Because the first person to make a character in this game did it in, I shit you not, 15 minutes. They did all the things. But they did roll low on powers. I have noticed that the power thing can take a while, depending on how many you roll. But I feel like that means that, like, a lot of the hardest part has passed now, considering that you already have finished the power section. Kirby said, started streaming 2 hours ago. My thing says it's only been an hour and 37 minutes and some number of seconds.
Okay. Black sleeveless hoodie, black eye mask, jeans, and sneakers. Not a costume. Except the eye mask.
There is an eye mask.
Sentence description of your vehicle of choice. In your base, you have one vehicle of your choice. Describe your vehicle of choice in one sentence.
Yeah.
Vehicle of choice.
Yeah, one sentence description of your vehicle of choice. It's in your base. Which, I mean, I guess it's in your Springdale apartments.
I always park it outside.
That means your base got accidentally terrorist attacked in like episode 3 when your boy Winslow steered a shitty Honda Civic off of his base and it crashed into Springdale apartments. Because that's Winslow's character pretty much.
There you go. It's very weird. Black motorcycle with turbo boost. You know, not everybody has the turbo boost in their black motor. This one comes with the turbo boost to move at speeds near 500 miles per hour.
Near 500
Near
miles per
500
hour.
miles. So you can give me a good like 490.
Kirby said, "Oh my goodness, I don't think a Dodge Viper with 2 M134 miniguns and the car can hold many types of missiles would be good to keep outside."
Mine's not. Mine doesn't have any weapons on it. I don't need any weapons.
Total number of sidekick NPCs you can find in the game. You determine this by rolling 1d20. In the game, your character can find NPCs and act as your sidekicks. This is the maximum number of sidekicks your character can have.
So you roll a d20 to see how many sidekicks you could run into in the game that could then like join your ranks.
1d20.
Kirby said it's the vehicle that Spectre drives in Twisted Metal 3. Oh, cool.
12.
12? Yeah, you can have 12 sidekicks.
I already have 12 seconds.
Well, you gotta find them in the game.
No.
You don't start with them.
I have 12 seconds.
Total number of powers each sidekick has. For that, total number of powers each sidekick has. Roll 1d20
available for mine.
Mm-hmm. And all of them will have this number of powers. Yeah. I'll have 18 powers. Your boy Dozer with the sidekicks. Kirby said, I don't think we will ever need sidekicks with the amount of players we have in the game.
Okay.
Okay.
Power uses. Sidekick share a section. Roll 1d20, and this number is the number that all your sidekicks roll from. So whenever one of your sidekicks uses a power, it is subtracted from the total number of power usages for a game session. When they run out of power usages, your sidekicks can no longer use powers.
Whoa.
So if sidekick A uses teleportation and sidekick B uses invisibility, but they have a total number of 2 power usages, then sidekick A subtracts 1, and sidekick B subtracts 2. So now your sidekicks can no longer use any more powers and spend all their power usages for that game session. Your starting floor is Springdale Apartments.
Well.
Roll 1d20. This
Yep. So you have 18 sidekicks. No.
Collectively, they can use 12.
No, you don't have 18 sidekicks. You have 12 sidekicks who each have 18 powers, but collectively can
Can use 12.
only use 12. That's actually really interesting that the number matches the number of sidekicks you have. The next thing is Springdale Apartment floor.
where your character lives is Springdale Apartments. So each character lives on their own floor in the Springdale Apartment building, and your d20 will determine what floor they live on. Civilian occupation.
19.
19. You live on the 19th floor of Springdale Apartments. That is the second highest roll you could have gotten.
Okay.
Solid.
This is your job in Springdale. And your civilian identity, what does your character do in order to make money? Walking speed.
So it's your civilian occupation. What does your character do in order to make money?
Who works at a fast food restaurant?
Is it the Springdale fast food restaurant?
Yeah, sure. The Springfield McSpankings.
But it's Springdale.
Springdale, Mississippi McSpankings.
The Springdale, Mississippi McSpankings.
The Springdale barbecue joint.
Mm-hmm.
Springdale barbecue.
Mm-hmm. Hello, I come from a line of gypsies. How may I help you today? Oh, you'd like to try our honey barbecue sauce? It's the same as the barbecue sauce. Oh, you said you like a corn dog? Yeah, I know I hit the hot dog button. It's the same thing.
So he's the manager at Springdale Barbecue.
Nice. Let's see. Scavenger said greetings and salutations. Kirby said, I'm Solomon Muto and Jank Heroes. Scavenger said Punky is here and ready to get high. This is actually not a game session. This is just your boy Dozer making his character.
Roll 1d20, and it tells you how many miles per hour your character can walk.
Walking speed, 1d20 to the how many miles per hour your character walks.
I can walk 20 miles per hour.
You haven't rolled yet. On the surface, 2. You can walk at 2 miles per hour.
It's about accurate.
Kirby said, not Kirby, Scavenger said, I know, but I wanted to introduce them to my character. Understood.
Okay.
Okay.
Starting items. normal starting item is item bag. It will hold up to 10-pound group of items. This is all you need to know in order to create the character in Jank Heroes Funny. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day. Peace.
Yeah, so your starting items are a subspace communicator and a 10-pound item bag. Did you get the description for subspace communicator? You don't have to write it down, but I was just wondering if you heard it.
Yeah, you communicate to other groups.
Yeah, and you can get important updates, and when you talk to them outside the normal confines of time. Let's see. Kirby said, "Yay, the same speed as me. Wait, why am I happy about this?" Kirby said, "Wait, Kirby can walk at 2 miles per hour?" And Kirby said, "Friggin' Punky over here with his 20 miles per hour." Scavenger said, "We have 2 fast and 2 slow people now." And then Kirby said, "Friggin'." Yeah, I think Winslow can go at 17 miles per hour, like his walking speed.
Just walking speed.
But yeah, you've now built Jank Heroes Funnifyic character. Well, Funnifyic. So whenever you're down to play some Jank Heroes Funnifyic, sessions are only an hour long. And we have like multiple Jank Heroes. That thumbnail came out really clean. I think that's why we got so many views. You see that? That was so sexy. Look at this other thumbnail we did later that night. Horrible. The first episode is like 1 hour and 42. The second episode is 1 hour and 52. It took Winslow 1 hour and 52 minutes to make his character. You took less time to make your character than Winslow. Let's see. We did a theories video for episode 3 that was like 52 minutes. But episode 3 ended up being Winslow's campaign, so it was actually really different from what we thought. Hey look, it's you. But yeah, thank you all for watching, because Dozer's now like made his character. When do you think you would want to play? Because it would be a full hour. Would you have time tomorrow? Oh, solid.
For sure.
Cool, so stay tuned. We'll probably get a session in tomorrow. Well, thank you all for watching. If you like this video, make sure to like this video, favorite, comment, subscribe, and anything, ring that bell so you know whenever we do these live streams. It's your host, your friend, your boy, Jet Black, the one and only, logging out. Let me check out the live chat real quick. Scavenger said, "Win Fast has 17 miles per hour, and I have 20. Kirby said, "Punky, please carry me to victory." Oh, wait, you already did this. Scavenger said, "Awesome." Then he said, "See ya." And then Kirby said, "It's already tomorrow."
He's
Peace.
correct.
He is right. That is correct.